Recording this.
All right. All right. And all right, real good. Welcome everyone, Corey Network King. Truly appreciate everyone being here today. This is our exhibitor, our virtual exhibitor feedback call. This call is for obviously all of our exhibitors. Some of our staff members will be on here as well. But we really wanted to take an opportunity for you guys to um, hear from us, hear from the summation of the event, hear from each other, summation of the event, kind of use this as a Q&A session. There was obviously, for those of you that have never done an event before or whatnot, or those of you that have, you know that, there's the what they call it, the front of the show and then the back of the show. So this is actually an opportunity for some of you guys to hear about some of the things that happen behind the curtains. Um, Really, our goal for doing this, and I really enjoy doing this because we are serious when we're talking about we want to get feedback from our exhibitors and we want to make this event better. There's definitely some things that we know that we did well. There's definitely some things that we know we need to work on. And then there's some things that we probably don't know that we did well. And there's probably some things that we don't know that we need to work on. So it's one of those things is why we actually have this call. So with that, with this call, again, it is being recorded. So if any of you guys have to go, we will be actually sending this out by tomorrow to everyone. So you guys will be able to have this just so that people can actually get this feedback. Today, how we're going to do this is we are going to talk to you guys. Our team has gone through all of um, the feedback forms that you guys sent in. The reason why we had you guys fill out this form because there's more information as far as like matrices that we really need for that, which we're not going to talk about on this call. So that is why we wanted people to fill that out first so that we actually had what we needed, and then if there was additional things that you wanted to hear or say, then that's where this call comes in. Okay. So again, for all of you that are on this call, you guys have actually filled out the form, which is great. Again, that we need to get that information and we'll be able to talk about some things here. Um, with that, we are all family. Okay. We are all family. So with that, we definitely want you to feel like that you are able to express yourself the way that you want. Okay. We also want to make sure that this is going to go no longer than an hour. So we want to make sure that that we're being clear and concise about everything. With that, we are going to talk about as an overview of when we went through the forms, some of the main things that stuck out to us. Okay. I would assume everybody that's on this call, you have a couple of things that you did want to talk about here. What we ask is, I'm going to go through some of this summation of stuff. If we touch on anything that you wanted to discuss, um, if there's anything additional to that thing, then great, let's have some conversation about it. But to obviously with the number of people that are on, we don't want to rehash the same thing over and over, whether it's good or bad. So with that, again, we definitely want to make sure we're being efficient when it comes to time. All right. First and foremost, thank you for each and every one of you guys' participation in this event. For us, this is what's called a legacy event. Our goal is to make this a legacy event. Our goal is that in 50 years from now, which I might still be here, who knows? I met a guy the other day who's 102, so I might still be here. But if I'm not, that one of the kids that were in the Kids Business Expo this year comes back to this event with their kids and is talking about, hey, when they were a child, they participated in this event and they're actually now bringing their kids for that. Like I truly want that to happen, and that's where we're going with this. Okay. This was our fourth event. Obviously next year is going to be our fifth, and we are growing and learning, which has been an amazing journey. So I say that to anyone that has participated with us. If this was your first time um, experiencing us, thank you. If this was your second or more time experiencing us, continue. Thank you, because again, you see what we do in our families with us, especially if you participated in either Taste Urban or any of our other events. All right. With that, as we went through the surveys, some of the things that we heard from people that say that they really, really liked with the event. They really liked the aspect of being able to network and build a relationship with the other vendors. Those of you that were able to actually do that, kudos, congratulations to you. Because again, at the end of the day, the sales piece is great. Okay. Sales is phenomenal. But being able to build relationships with people that will actually hopefully turn into increased business, increased partnerships, increased collaborations, whatever the case is, that goes on and on. So definitely kudos for you guys for doing that. Let me back up just a little bit. We are already in the process of working on the event for 2027. That is going to be our 5 year anniversary. Currently, we will not have a date for that event, and we probably won't have it until about July, August, something like that. It is our goal is to keep it. It will be at the Georgia World Congress Center. Our goal is to keep it in February, but realistically, because we are kind of low man on the totem pole, like just to be honest, we are the expo is kind of a small fish in the ocean when dealing with the Georgia World Congress Center. So we are kind of low men on the totem pole when it comes to being able to get the dates that we want and stuff like that. So we really will have to wait for them to tell us what's available. So just so that everybody knows, we are having it again next year. It will be at the Georgia World Congress Center. Our goal is for it to be in February, but it may possibly be in January, or it may possibly even be in March. Okay, but it definitely will be in the first quarter if we can do that. And it will be in Building C. For those of you that were at the event last year and we were in Building A, you saw the nightmare that we had with that. I will not put myself through that, nor will I put you guys through that. All right. So we will not be at Building A. Okay. But again, what some of the feedback was networking and building relationships, which was great. That you guys enjoyed our staff, that the staff was nice and helpful. Um, Definitely got some shout outs to Miss Cat. Cat was out there doing her thing. Truly appreciate you. We did have some new activations this year, which was the health fair, the Black Foodie Friday, the tailgate experience, and having the workshops on a different day. And we did get quite a bit of feedback that people really enjoyed the activations. Surprisingly, you guys really like Black Foodie Friday. Didn't know my family liked the food. That's a joke, y'all. I knew that y'all were going to like Black Foodie Friday, but yes, Black Foodie, and then the health fair. The health fair, people really enjoyed the actual health fair. We enjoyed it as well, and we are definitely looking at expanding that next year. Um, People talked about the training, really enjoyed the training, really learned some new things about their business and about operations in their business. And one of the things that I really enjoyed seeing is that even when we got positive feedback and even when we got some feedback that we need to work on, that most people understood the vision of what we are trying to accomplish. Like most people really felt like, yo, Atlanta needs a Black Expo. And we see that you are trying to provide that for Atlanta. So we took and we take the feedback as not criticizing or not degrading or anything like that. It's, hey, no, like you guys are investing in us to give us feedback into making this better. Again, we truly, truly appreciate that. Excuse me. Excuse me. All right, let's talk about some of the things that need to be worked on. Actually, before we go there, these were some of the things that people enjoyed. Out of that, I'm going to open it up. Is there anybody that had something that they really enjoyed about the event that I did not talk about inside of these things here that they want to voice? Or you can put it in the chat, completely up to you. I just want to make sure that we open it up for that.
I just wanted to say that LaShawn and Rhonda also did a great job.
Agreed. Agreed. Thank you. We'll definitely make sure that they know that. Thank you for that. Anybody else have anything else that they want to add? Go ahead, Hayes.
I'd like to add something. Um, I took account of the amount of business I did with other Black organizations. And even though we did not derive any revenue from the event,
Hmm.
we didn't go to do that. And I think that Quilombo, as a school, might have been the only nonprofit that was there as a vendor. Our goal was exposure, but we wanted to make sure that we tracked the engagement we had with other Black vendors. And when we added that up, I think we spent about $300 with our
Okay.
fellow Black vendors. And I think that's a metric that maybe you should consider tracking going forward,
Thank you.
which is the circulation of the Black dollar amongst the exhibitors.
Thank you for that. We do need to add that. We definitely need to add that because that is viable. We had another exhibitor talk about the amount of spend they got from other vendors as well, and that's currently something that we are not tracking. So, Hayes, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Anyone else have anything that went really, really well that we have not talked about that you just wanted to voice?
I just want to share feedback from my nephew. He was there with me all 3 days. 17 years old. I'm preparing to go to college. Um, and when we were packing everything up on Sunday, he said, "Wow, this feels like the last day of a cruise." So, so yeah, so he really enjoyed everything. And uh, I did too. I've done other vendor events, but this was my first three, full days of things to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, we definitely enjoyed it. I had really hoped that the Greek party, was really going to be a party. So I guess if there are ways to just get that word out, even if it's kind of separate from the expo, just to get more Greeks to come participate.
Yep.
Um,
Hmm.
and then same with the church service. The church service was great. And it just would have been just, more people should have taken advantage of both of those opportunities. But overall, I thought it
Thank you.
was great. Hmm.
Yeah. And you know what? And thank you for that. This was our first 3-day event last year. It was, let's call it a day and a half, but we did have one day for load in, and then the event this year with the load in, and then 2 more days of the event, and with all of the trainings that we did, you know, you and with the Monday action call that we did as well, I really felt like I saw some of you guys a lot, which was great because it was really now building these relationships. Let me tell you, Sonji and I go back, okay? It's me and Sonji, right? Because I stay calling her, showing her her profile in the directory. Miss Moon, her and I have been talking with each other quite a bit. And a couple of you guys, other guys, like it's been Durin. Um, and that is actually good because what that does is again starts to build that relationship with each other so that our hope is, excuse, excuse me, our hope is that after this event, you guys don't just disperse and not actually do business with each other, talk to each other, and stuff like that. Like you maintain these relationships with people throughout the year. And again, especially the business relationships, right? Especially for those of you that are still on the business builder and actually going through and talking weekly, because again, in your business village. That's what's going to help your business grow, is by having as many people in your business village as possible. Some of them are going to be work, some of them are going to be helping your hand, some of them are going to be just giving you information, some of them might be customers of yours, whatever the case is, but you want to grow your business village. So again, thank you for that, Tanya. Last one. Is there one other person, only if you want to unmute yourself and give us something positive that you experienced that we have not spoke on yet?
Well, Corey, in the chat, Miss Moon says she liked the Guru abs.
Let me tell you, there were so many new things that we did with this event. One of those was, and Tanya talked about it, the church service that we had, the prayer and worship service that we had at the beginning, and then having the workout gentleman, Deshaun, I believe his name was, with that, which I really liked that. And let me tell you how that happened. I think it was Thursday. We had an interview on TV, and he was there doing an interview as well because he was going to be at the Black health fair that was actually happening on the Saturday of ours. And I was like, "Oh, what do you do?" He told us what he did, whatever. I was like, "Yo, that's phenomenal." I was like, "You're doing that there?" And he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yo, would you like to do it at ours?" He was like, "Yeah." And that's literally how that happened. And after he did it, and it was very unique, it was very uplifting. I felt good afterwards. It wasn't hard. And he intentionally did it that way. I was like, yo, we doing this every year, sir. So that was amazing. Thank you for bringing that up. Yes, we really, really did enjoy that. So real good. Excuse me. Let's get to the things that we need to work on. All right. So we definitely had a lower attendance than we wanted. My goal was to have 2 to 5,000 people there. Really wanted to get three. We did not have that number. We had approximately 1,500 people around that number throughout the 3 days. Okay. Our load-in process. For those of you that were at the expo last year and experienced our load-in, which our load-in last year, whew, I got cold chills even thinking about it. I'm triggered. Don't want to go back. This year was supposed to be better, which actually, technically, it was. The only challenge that we had was which we have already made corrections to this. We had a company that was supposed to be sending us workers, and they were sending us about 20 of them. With that, what we have learned is prior years, we've never had one company that supplied a bulk of people from us. We typically would just grab them from different places. And what that meant was when somebody couldn't show up, because there's always going to be staff that can't show up, it was only one or two versus the whole thing. And with this one, they had some challenge on their end. And and when I tell you guys on Friday at 7 o'clock in the morning, when we got our delivery for tables and chairs, there was supposed to be at least 10 people there to be able to receive these tables and chairs and then to start putting the tables and chairs up in the actual space. None of them came because of the error that this company had. We literally had three people putting up tables and chairs in the whole space. It was ridiculous. With that, that's what then got us a little backed up. And then when it came to those same people, were then going to help us manage how loading was coming with the vendors. That's where some of you guys saw me out there. Let me tell you this. Anytime you see me doing something that you think that I probably shouldn't be doing, there's a problem. Okay. And with that, when you saw me directing traffic and stuff like that, that was just because we didn't have the people there. Now, again, we didn't know that until that morning. With that being said, we already have a solution in place for that for next year. So our load in definitely was a little bit more challenging than it was supposed to be. For those of you that haven't been with us before, what was supposed to happen was there was supposed to be staff that was going to be actually bringing you guys in and helping you guys unload and things of that nature. That's typically what we like doing at our events. I was honestly pissed off because I like having that as a feature for you guys and not being able to do that the way. And once you have unloaded, gone and parked your car, come back, having somebody actually be able to walk with you and take you to show you kind of where your table is and stuff like that. We weren't able to do all of that. Again, me and my team was not happy that that happened, but we got a solution in place. Our activation rooms. Um, a lot of the problems that we had, which is kind of good, but it is what it is because of lack of staff. Those of you that were in the activation room, so such as the pop-up shop, the kids expo, the health fair, those three, there was supposed to be a person that was there to actually show you where you were going to be, right? Because we didn't have the staff there, that person wasn't there either. So we do apologize that it was kind of a go in, find your stuff, and you did. Hope you guys look like you did that well. But again, it's not going to be like that next year. Uh, I had on here parking fees. So when it comes to the Georgia World Congress Center, what we learned, well, let me back up. They do not give out parking vouchers, anything like that. Okay. They do the if you paid up front, it was like $17 for the day. What they told me a couple weeks prior that there was nothing else going on major like there was last year when we had the event. What I found out later, and I don't know if any of you guys experienced this, but there was another event that was happening. It was either Saturday or Sunday where the price of the parking went up, and it went up to like $40, which that did not even know about. Um, with that, again, there's no way around the parking fees when it comes to that. Again, we are going to try to make sure that people know this information well in advance again, so they can go ahead and purchase their parking passes and stuff like that and kind of strategize that out. But again, being that close to downtown parking is what it is. Um, Last one, the Greek party. So with the Greek party, our goal was for us to have all of the Greek and a lot of HBCUs at our Saturday tailgate experience. With that, and actually, let me back up one more. The homecoming tailgate experience and Black Foodie Friday literally got created the end of December, which typically just those events by themselves, it'd be something that you'd want to do right when we started talking about the event back in August. Those two events came out of us having to restructure things. So everything that we tried to do with it really didn't get done because we just didn't have enough time. We wanted to, and this is why we're actually excited about it, because this, as we're now putting together for 2027, we are literally starting to market and put together committees beginning next month, which is April. How that one's going to look, and I'm super excited, especially for those of you that either are in D9 or either went to an HBCU, is what was supposed to happen was there was supposed to be an ambassador from each of the nine fraternities and sororities and at least 11 of the HBCUs. Those individuals were going to now go into to try to build their team from their respective groups and bring them to the event. And a lot of the games and stuff like that were going to be centered around them. But even people who is not a part of HBCU or a part of D9 can now go and associate themselves with one. So if you wanted to go to an HBCU, you can pick a school that you wanted to go to, and then you could actually get some material from them and be on their team and actually participate as a team and stuff like that. Because we didn't have enough time to actually do that piece, we just opened it up and there was just games and things of that nature. But please know, next year there is going to be that because we are literally starting to put together those ambassadors and stuff like that beginning April. Okay. And actually going to have actual activities that we're going to be doing with them throughout the year. And then the main event of that is going to be at the expo. All right. So that's how that was. Um, That was mainly what we had, the main things that we saw that did not work well when it came to the actual event. And let me go back to one of them, which is the low attendance. And then I'm going to open it up to you guys to be able to talk. I mean, for you guys to tell us anything that you were thinking of as well. With this type of event, and we all family, so I'm just going to be crystal clear about this. There's two things that's happening. The first 2 years when we had this event, actually, yes, the first 2 years that we had this event, I was hoping that the vendors themselves to be able to have all different types of Black-owned businesses all in one place, have it in February for Black History Month, to be able to come support these, especially with DEI going on and all of this, that the vendors by themselves were going to be a draw. Okay. Unfortunately, they weren't, not by themselves, not to the mass. Were there spots of people who were like, yes, I am about recycling dollars in the community and I'm going to any of that? Yes. But to the mass, unfortunately, it's not as big of a draw. Last year, in our third year, we added a piece that was Saturday night, which was the VIP experience, which during the VIP experience, we did Black liquor tastings and we did some Black food tastings. Now, that actually did pretty well. That night went pretty well for those of you that were there. The challenge with that is what we wanted to do in working with the venue that we're working with, the restrictions that they had, it was very, very hard to execute that. This year, it was actually good that we added another event called Black Foodie Friday and the Homecoming Tailgate Experience. Now, I'm going to be, again, very candid with you guys. I want the exhibitor show to be the draw. It has proven not to be the main draw. What I expect to be the main draw next year is going to be the Black Foodie Friday, okay? Because it's food tastings. Now, some people have asked, why don't we do celebrities at the event? Why don't we pay for entertainment at the event? Number one, it costs too much. Number two, anytime that you have an event to where you're paying a celebrity to be there, now what ends up happening is people start saying, oh, who's going to be there? And depending on who's there, it depicts on where do they go. And that now means every year you got to have someone bigger and better, which takes away from the actual exhibitors. There's a lot of events to where, especially if there's a what do you call it, like a concert or something, the concert's busy, but now the exhibitors are not as busy because people came for the concert. I never wanted that for this show. With that, I was very excited to know that if we used the food to be a draw, that it is still supporting Black businesses, which that's what we want. Everything that we do is supporting Black businesses. So adding the Black Foodie Friday on is it's gonna be a draw, especially how we're gonna do it. It was a draw for this past week, this past event. I don't know how many of you guys were able to go to Black Foodie Friday, but out of the activations that we had, it was actually well attended. Like people had a good time at that one. It was more attended than the tailgate because people really didn't necessarily understand it as much because we had a lot going on with it, which is fine. Next year, we're going to have more time with both the foodie and with the tailgate experience with the HBCU and the D9. So again, we are expecting both of those to actually be larger draws. But again, if someone were to ask me, what do you think is the largest draw? It's going to be Black Foodie Friday. Now, Black Foodie Friday is going to be that thing that's going to get that person to actually purchase a ticket come Friday, and then there's going to be a percentage of those people who are definitely going to be coming for the actual show next year, which we'll talk about what that's going to look like a little bit. But then there's another percentage who is specifically coming for Black Foodie Friday, but because their Black Foodie Friday ticket includes this show, it would increase the chance for them to actually come as well. Okay, that's number one. Number two, when it comes to marketing an event, you obviously have free marketing and you have paid marketing. We have paid for Facebook ads. We have paid for radio. We have paid, um, obviously Facebook and Instagram. We've done both of those. We've done a billboard. And keep in mind, radio, billboard, these things are not cheap. And we still did not get the actual bump that we were looking for in radio or even with the billboard. Now, we have a choice. We can either spend more money on outside items like, let's say, newspapers and blah, 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 or we can spend more money with our vendors. And that is through our rebate program. I myself prefer to put more money in your pocket for you to invite somebody than me giving it to somebody who I don't even know. And that is a strategy that the Atlanta Black Expo prefers to do. So typically every year we'll have one bucket of money that's going to outside advertisement. Facebook is typically Facebook and something else. This year it was Facebook, and I don't know if you guys noticed this, but we're using event platform called Event Noir, which is like an Eventbrite, but it's a black owned Eventbrite. So even there, we were spending money with a black owned. We actually spent money with them on advertisement because their whole database is black people. So we spent money there, and then the rest of the money is going back to our referral program, which is back to in your pockets. I like that, but again, I will open it up. And this is not to be funny, but I would open it up to hear from you guys. Would you guys prefer an event to spend money with you on advertisement, or would you prefer it to be spent on outside stuff like billboards and stuff like that? And somebody unmute themselves and just let me know your thoughts and just
Ask
your
the
your two
question again.
cents.
Ask the question again, Corey.
So for us as Atlanta Black Expo, we have two main categories where we spend our money on advertisement to get attendees, to try to increase attendees. It is either through Facebook ads, let's call it Facebook ads, and our community referral program, meaning spending money back to our vendors based on the people that they actually bring into the event. Those are the two main aspects of where we actually spend our money. But I'm actually very interested just to hear what the actual vendors think about us either spending the money with them or not doing that and utilizing that money that would go to you guys and spending that on more on, let's say, radio or something like that.
I would say that the money should be spent on advertising and maybe even a street team. And instead of vendors getting attendees to pay for a ticket to show up, I honestly feel like that it should be promoted as a free event because people would be more prone to come to the event and spend with the vendors if they know that it's a like how you go to like the Juneteenth festival or whatever festival and you don't have to pay. You're more prone to just pay for your parking and then coming in and buying with the vendors and buying something to eat. So I would say the money should be spent towards advertising, getting a street team to promote radio, whatever ads and stuff like that. I would rather it be a free event that vendors don't have to get people to buy tickets for.
Okay. Next person.
Yeah, this is Derwin. How you doing?
Go ahead.
I kind of agree with her because I had people who I know some purchased tickets. I don't know how many, but eight of them said they were going to buy tickets, but they weren't going to come to the event. So that means that if I sold eight tickets, and for the let's say the $35 base price, the $35 price, and they didn't show up, that means that although I sold tickets and they did it to help my cause to help me purchase a table, I still didn't get the audience. They'll buy the ticket to support me to get a table. Let's say, for example, I sold 20 tickets to my friends and family, and they said, okay, we're going to support you to get a free table, but we are not going to come. And so I sold 20 tickets and nobody ever came, but I got, $700 towards, discount towards my table, but they never showed up.
Okay.
So I think advertising in some forms of billboard, as you said, you did some, but I think some kind of semi-aggressive campaign towards promoting the Black Expo because a lot of people, the masses, how would they know that we got the expo if they don't get the word out?
Okay. Miss Moon.
So I want to be solution oriented and address how to increase the attendance. So as a public health professional, I really want to tap into the health fair, and I think a partnership with Black Health Matters would be amazing. I know initially I reached out to them, and when they said the date, I was like, my eyes got big. She was like, "What's wrong?" I said, "That's the Black Expo," and they had a fantastic event at Friendship Church that same day. And so
Mm-hmm.
I think there needs to be some type of collaborative effort to enhance and really uplift health. And I can talk to you, Corey, about that later. And I also think it's disheartening that the city of Atlanta lacked presence. I don't know what's going on with the Office of Cultural Affairs, but
Mm-hmm.
they should be one of the biggest financial supporters of this because this is a citywide event. So I don't understand, it might be some politics behind that, but I think tapping into that and getting their support would really make a difference.
100%. And actually, what's funny about that, when I went to the interview at the radio station, I met the founder of the that health expo. Had a conversation with her. I was trying to invite her to the event because she had hers on Saturday, but seeing if she can come Sunday just to kind of kick the tires. She wasn't able to make it, but I do plan on having more conversation with her. Their event is free, which our event is not free. So there's obviously some logistics there's a lot that goes into having two established events. Now they've been doing it way longer than we have. Number one, excuse me, they do it in other cities. Okay, so they actually have more financial backing than we do. So there's a lot of logistics that would have to happen to that. But just know what you're thinking. We are already working on that. So thank you for that. Oh, and lastly, I'm not going to talk about it a lot today, but as far as the city is concerned, listen, everyone, I want everybody to hear this. The mayor was at the event last year. We gave him an award. He's on the video. He knows this exists. So silly me thinking, hey, this is in your backyard. You have this initiative for small businesses, definitely black businesses. This would be a shoe-in for you guys to participate in. He was invited. We never got a call, right, about that, but Angie reached out. He was supposed to actually come to the event again this year to present the award that we gave him to Jamal Bryant this year. They said yes, but they ended up canceling like a day before the event. Whatever's happening over there, I have absolutely no clue. But let me tell you
Yeah.
what we're gonna do over here. We're gonna take care of our own until they get on board, and they will, whether that's next year, and we're gonna keep inviting because you're 100% correct. This event should be a city initiative. Very much so. Thank you for
Let
that.
me let me let me jump in on that, Corey, really quickly. One thing I want to be clear about when it comes to travel and tourism in any city, dollars is what makes sense to them. So, although the mayor definitely should have been there, especially to pass the award down to Dr. Bryant, all that should have happened, right? But what we're going to do a better job of is attacking it from every angle. So we, with FIFA coming, all of these things, we're going to be engaged with that, be engaged with travel and tourism. If we join this Showcase Atlanta initiative that the mayor has, and just put the Black Expo on the map for everybody to see it, especially government officials. And a lot of times, we, even as African Americans, the reason why our businesses don't get picked is not because of some great conspiracy, it's because we're not on the list to get picked, quite honestly. We haven't registered our business as a minority owned business or a woman owned business for it to be in the realm. And that's not the case in every aspect, But in this case, we're going to do everything we can to position ourselves to not be denied. That way, we're going to be on a travel and tourism spectrum, put our name out there, the Black Expo, so that when they're looking for things and when people are coming to Atlanta, the government and everyone will see this is an entity that everyone should be engaged with. Sometimes we have to put ourselves on the map as well. And we're trying from every angle. We're doing a lot of stuff, and we'll find it. We'll find the secret sauce to do it. But we're gonna keep on pushing.
100%. Thank you for that. Cecilia,
I have a question,
and then
Corey.
Alfreda. Let's go Cecilia, then Alfreda, and then I see you, Veronica, and then Hayes. Go ahead.
Yes, Corey and everyone on the call. I'm not going to beat a dead horse because it's already been talked about as far as the mayor and the city of Atlanta, not from my point of view, not being participants in this year's expo. I thought it was disheartening, degrading to us as Black owners, small business owners, to not be a participant in an event that's going on in your backyard, your city. The mayor should have been there. If he couldn't have been there, he should have sent a representative. That's all I'm going to say on that. When it comes to the community rebate deal, I would say keep that in play because it is an incentive to us as exhibitors to encourage people to come out and support all the Black businesses that are participating, not just us. I mean, not just me. Um, and I do understand that marketing of any sort is a cost. So I would not be in favor of uh, discontinuing the refund program to put it all towards marketing because we as exhibitors do play a part in that as well. But I do work a 9 to 5, but if there's anything that I might be able to help in the community to help get the word out, that, hey, we're having this Black Expo. It happens every year. Come out and support us. Let me know.
Definitely. Thank you for that.
Well,
Alfreda,
Corey, one thing I do want to add is that we are never going to stop anybody on this call from writing a letter or calling your mayor's office and sharing your feelings. We're not going to stop them, Corey. Are we going to stop from doing that?
we are not going to do that. We are not
If
going to
y'all
stop that.
paid with y'all vote, y'all have every right to call his office and, as business owners, express your discontentment in where you think he ought to be.
And wanting to understand, wanting to understand why. So yes, Alfreda, and then let's go Hayes and then Veronica.
Okay, so this is kind of similar to what Cecilia was saying. I was just wondering, why is it one or the other, advertising versus rebate? Why it wouldn't be both? And that creates, in my mind, the win-win. Because I don't know how the budget structure is set, but one would think that you would advertise because this is being hosted by a company, and then if the exhibitors want to chip in and invite people, that's kind of understood as well in the rebate program or the refund program, whichever one you call it. That to me is like the icing on the cake. So again, I don't see one or the other. And then the only other thing I want to add, and this wasn't necessarily the question, but I heard somebody bring it up, is the actual location.
Okay.
And I would just say, is the World Congress Center the location because it's like central? Because, as it relates to African American, I'm going to generalize because someone stated, I think it was Veronica, people go to free stuff at the end of the day. And then when you have the cost to go to an event plus the cost of parking, that deters people. I think people can probably have an appetite for one or the other, but both of those combined, that will just reduce the number of attendees that one is going to see. So again, location, because a couple of people that I talked to at the event said that at one time it was at the Cobb Galleria, I believe.
Mob Galleria.
But
Yep.
yeah, there's been other locations where parking would be free. So again, it would just be the cost. So I would just say, would you take that into consideration going forward?
Right. So let me answer those two questions real quick. One, we're not saying as far as marketing is concerned, one or the other. We're saying let's just say that we had a budget of $10,000 for marketing. 5,000 is going to go toward, let's say, Facebook ads and Instagram. The other 5,000 could go someplace. It'd either go to our vendors for the rebate program or it would go to a billboard. What I like doing, which just so that everybody knows, we are going to continue doing the rebate program because that is just it just makes sense to do. I prefer to put guaranteed money. So meaning if Veronica refers one person and she gets $30 for that, the $30 is for a specific person that came versus me giving $30 to Clear Channel for a hypothetical person to come. I 100% all day long will give that 30 for an actual person that comes. Derwin, I would ask if you haven't done so, the people who purchased tickets using yours but said they weren't coming, my first question is, do they live in Atlanta? And even if they didn't live in Atlanta, like, why would they not come? Not that they didn't purchase tickets, that's good, but why not come? Just to ask that question, right? Because again, there are people who hear about the event. There's people who hear about the event that are just not coming, and that's based on the draw of the event, right? We'll talk about that later, and we're not going to go too long tonight. You asked about the location. Very good question. So that everybody knows this, we were at the Cobb Galleria for our first 2 years. My goal was to stay at the Cobb Galleria. The Cobb Galleria, oh, let me back up. There's only 4 places in Atlanta that are exhibit halls. The Cobb Galleria, which obviously is in Cobb County, the Georgia World Congress Center, the Georgia International Convention Center, which is by the airport, and Gas South, which is in Gwinnett. Okay. Now, we were at the Cobb Galleria that has 4 exhibit halls that are all 36,000 square feet. My goal was we used 36,000 square feet the first year. The second year, my goal was to use 2 of their halls, which would have been about 70,000 square feet. The goal for the third year was to use the third, for the fourth year to use the fourth, and then to go to the World Congress Center whenever we had maxed out of that. The problem came in, and let me be very clear, I prefer the Cobb Galleria. I like the Cobb Galleria. It is centrally located. It's not downtown and all of that. It's kind of not a higher echelon center, but kind of, right? Very easy to get to, all of that stuff. The problem is, and just to be frank, our money, they didn't care about our money. And I found that out when I went to our second event that we had there. They dropped the ball several times. And when I brought it up in our debriefing meeting, the gentleman who was not black, who had been at the Cobb Galleria for 27 years. Why do I know that? Because he said it in the meeting, because he was retiring the next day when I brought up something that they did, which was not right, which was charge my card before I even had the opportunity to approve it. He told me, well, these are our practices. And, if you wanted to go someplace else, you could. Now, anybody who tells you that you can go someplace else and you just paid them thousands of dollars doesn't care about your business. So when we left there, the only places that we could have gone was, again, Gas South, which, sorry, there's not a high concentration of black folks in Gwinnett. Or we could have gone to the Georgia International Convention Center, which the GICC actually cost more than, which is crazy, than the Georgia World Congress Center. Okay. And they weren't available. And let's just say this, the universe chose for us the Georgia World Congress Center. Currently, there is no other location that is the size of the Georgia World Congress Center. Like, we technically right now are too big for even the Georgia International Convention Center down there. Their largest, all of their halls together is about 150,000 square feet. We need at least 200,000, especially for us expanding out our health fair next year. Okay.
Right.
Again, there is so many, and this is why I'm so glad you guys are joining this call, because there's so much that's happening, like again, in the kitchen that the average person is not going to see. And our goal is to try to shield a lot of this from you. Also, please know this. Um, could we make this event free? 100%. 100%. Let me tell you this. There are so many free expos, and I've actually done both. I've done free and I've done paid. And 99 times out of 100, the vendors enjoyed the paid ticket events because the complaint was, oh yeah, there was a lot of people here, but because it was free, they weren't looking to pay any more money. They were walking around looking for other free stuff. And this is one of the reasons why I hate having free events. Anytime I have a paid event, then I know I'd rather a paid event have less people, but I know that these people have money to spend and they're willing to spend. So do they want to pay for parking? No, they don't. But realistically, there is no convention center in Atlanta to where there's free parking. Cobb Galleria doesn't have it. GICC doesn't have it. Gas South doesn't. That's impossible, right? But they pay for other things. So, like, for instance, when they go to a Falcons game, when they go to a concert, when they go to the same things that are at this same location, they go. Now, I'm not saying we are a Beyonce concert. I'm not saying that at all, right? I'm not saying we're the draw of a Beyonce concert. But I guys want you guys to just to think about people pay for what they want to pay for, okay? They do. It is my job and Angie's job, our team's job, is to add more things to the event to make it more attractive, which is what we are currently doing. Now, this is a community event, and I am not shy about saying this. This is a community event. What that means is it is you guys' job to help us let other people know about it. Because again, I prefer to, number one, put this money back into your pocket, and two, based on the trainings that we did, it actually helps you when you talk to other people about the event. We're not going to talk about why, but based on event-based marketing and touches and stuff like that, long term, it helps you to talk to other people about this event and not your product, because it gives you another touch point. Again, if you guys have any questions on that, go back to the training. We talked about that. Okay. But it just takes a little bit longer for that to actually grow that way. Okay. But will we do a free event? Honestly, probably not. Just to be honest with you, probably not. What is potentially going to happen, potentially, is that a part of the event next year is potentially going to be free, and that is the health fair. And the only reason why that would happen is if we are able to successfully partner with that other health fair, because their event is free. So we actually have the ability, and again, please nobody go talk to anybody about this because this was in my head. She doesn't even know this is super early, but we have the ability to actually quarantine it to where we actually literally have a paid event and a free event sitting side by side with each other, which we're actually very much so thinking about doing to hopefully get people that come out and then people to possibly say, hey, you know what? Let me just go ahead and pay the $15, which is very small, to come in and actually be a part of the actual show and stuff like that. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Let me see here. Okay. Does
I
anybody
had something.
go ahead? Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Veronica. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No problem. I know that you didn't mention, I guess specific feedback on the term that you keep saying is how to get a draw to the event. But
Mhm.
what I put in my feedback was, I guess the word I chose was the experience that people get. And the only reason that I suggested some of the stuff that I suggested based off of like the having like a parade and
Mhm.
involving all the colleges and high schools and different stuff like that is because a lot of, from what I've seen with my own eyes,
Hmm.
parades bring a big draw. Two of my biggest events that I did was the Juneteenth Festival and 404 Day,
Hmm.
and both of them bought 8 to 10,000 plus people.
Hmm.
404 Day, they stopped letting people in because it was literally just so many people that it was at capacity. They stopped letting people in the whole event. It was like essentially two events in the street and in where the underground was. With
Hmm.
Juneteenth Festival, it's all type of people that come through that parade, where there's the car clubs, the Jeep clubs, the Corvette club, the dance teams, like that's, and when all of those people are in it, they're gonna bring more people to come see them perform and see, you get what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
my mind was just working on, and sorry, my daughter's coming in, my youngest daughter, but my mind was just thinking like that's how you draw a big crowd, with involving everybody that's in the community to make this
Hmm.
like the Black culture, like make this event the staple for ATL's Black culture and all things Black culture.
Yep.
And I was the one saying that I felt like the event should be free because people already have to pay for parking.
Yep.
It would be better for it to be free, because then more people will come out, and then the big draw will make people come in and spend with the vendors, because they're going to come in to enjoy whatever festivities are on the inside. And I gave ideas about that too, about
Hmm.
different performances being inside the building. And once
Hmm.
they finish watching their people perform, dance, step show, whatever it is, then they're going to like, oh, let me go get something to eat. Oh, let me go see which vendors is here and who I can support. And then it's like a whole vibe. So I'm
Hmm.
just saying it based off of, I've been an entrepreneur since, a full-time entrepreneur, because I heard somebody say that they work a 9 to 5. So me personally, a person that works a 9 to 5 have a different mindset than a person that's an entrepreneur,
Hmm.
because if the event doesn't go successful for them, they go clock in on Monday or whatever, wherever they're going to go clock in at. If an event doesn't work out for me, that means bills don't get paid.
Hmm.
So from my perspective, I feel like the big draw would be involving the community, colleges, high schools, car clubs, whoever you got to involve to make ATL Black Expo the staple for ATL's Black culture. That's my opinion, because I've seen
Yep.
it happen before
Yep.
several
And I
times.
100% agree with you. 100%. This is what's called a community event. And that's
Mm-hmm.
where, and really what you're talking about, Veronica, are partnerships. And it's
Okay.
really having, so like, let me give you an example. The Urban League. The Urban League was having an event on the Thursday before our event. We
Okay.
created a partnership with them to say, hey, instead of us having two separate events, how about you have your event inside of ours? Which they did. So that's where a partnership now came in to add another experience into ours, right? What you're talking about is a parade. So what I would, and not just say to you, but to everybody here, we are looking for more partnerships. We are looking for somebody. So let me give a perfect example to Miss Moon, with the young lady, and I forgot her name, but the young lady who does the Black Health Matters, right? Let's just say that was your friend. I would say, hey, please call your friend and tell her we have a health fair, but we would love to partner with her to now have her health fair be our health fair. Because essentially, the Atlanta Black Expo is literally, I want you guys to think about the Atlanta Black Expo like hate to use this word, but everybody knows it, like a Walmart, right? Walmart is just an open space that has multiple products on it. So whatever you're looking for, you walk in and you see multiple things. That's what the Atlanta Black Expo essentially should be, where my goal is for a person to walk in and whatever they're interested in, they see. Let me give you another experience. The Black Film Festival. I don't know if one exists, but there's a lot of people in film here. Well, guess what? They should be a part of the expo. Now, Corey won't be able to create it because Corey not in film. But if there's somebody who's already in film, we partner with them and now bring that a part of the Atlanta Black Expo. So I say yes to you, Veronica, and everybody, and yes to you, Tamar, with everybody that has these other experiences that are out there. We're saying yes to them. We want them to be a part of the expo so that we're all not dealing in silos. We're all not doing things separately or whatever. Like we literally can all work together because we're targeting the same type of people. So if you know somebody who does parades, who wants to do a parade during June, not Juneteenth, because there's already one. Bob does his, which is actually a phenomenal one. But if you know somebody who wants to do a parade in February-ish, please connect them with us because we're open to doing it.
I was gonna ask that too. Are you even connected with Bob? Because
I
they
am.
do it every year. So it's like,
Mhm.
however they're doing it, maybe even his resources and like do like a pre-Juneteenth at the Black Expo because
Do you know
Juneteenth don't
Bob?
have like
Do you
him,
know
Jabril,
Bob?
Grant, all of them, like even all of their people can be connected some type of way and give you resources or help be a
Yep.
part of it as well.
Do you know Bob?
Bob, yeah.
I want you to call Bob, pitch him
Okay.
that, and then bring him to the table.
Okay, I'll do that.
Right? Anybody and I empower each and every one of you guys. You guys know what it is, you know what we're doing. And again, I know Bob. I don't know Bob like that. I don't have his number in my phone. If I see him, he's been to my events, I've been to his. But I say that to each of because and I want you guys just to see this. Everybody comes up to me and says, "Hey, you know what you should do, Corey? You should do this." If I had the bandwidth to do that, I 100% would. But that's where I empower everybody that's on this call to say, listen, and I'll tell you the relationships I have, and I'll tell you the ones I don't. If you guys
Dope.
have a better relationship with them, please bring them to the table. And you ain't even got to sell them. Just get them most of the information. And then if they're, yep, I'm interested to do that, great. Give them to me, give them to Angie. Then we'll actually take it from there. All right.
If
And
you
Corey,
could send
let
me
me
your
before
contact number,
we
Corey, if you could send me your contact number, Corey, because I'll when I call Bob, I will give him your number so he can call you directly.
And let me say this, and then Angie, go ahead. For everybody, please, 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 with sugar on top. If you're gonna connect me with somebody, you need to talk to them first about what you're connecting it to. It should not be,
Absolutely.
I'm put here, Corey, talk to him about the expo. No, no, no. And he's like, what are we talking about? No, no, no.
No,
Hey,
I'll tell him.
Bob.
I'll explain to him.
Yep, Bob. Hey, I think Bob, you should have your parade at the Black Expo. Are you interested in that? Great. Here's Corey. Great. Go ahead, Angie.
two really quick points. And listen, we are always looking to expand our team. If you have done this thing that you were suggesting that we should do, by all means, get on board. We are happy to add to our team,
Yes.
and our list grows. Listen, every time somebody tells us all the stuff we should do, we say, okay, we're gonna add it to the list. We're gonna add it to the list. But we're gonna add you to the list. So if you can do that thing, join our team, jump on board. We are happy to have you, welcome you. Cat, you're welcome, all right? Cat, you ain't got no problem with that. We are happy to have you. So another thing I want to tell you is that I love these meetings because we give you the opportunity, as Corey keeps saying, to see behind the curtain. One thing I want to share with you guys, if you've never done an event of this size and you've never had to work with the Georgia World Congress Center one-to-one, some things you should understand. I'm gonna go really, really quickly with this. One of the things we always hear, y'all should have more food. Yeah, we agree. We'd love to have more food. If it weren't for the fact that a dozen 12 brownies cost $47, y'all heard that? 12 brownies cost $47, we would have more food. And we would feed every single one of you. They have very strict stipulations on what we can do. We are not permitted to sell food anyway, anyhow, at the Georgia Work. They don't even want us to bring in our own bottles of water, quite frankly. Right? So when you guys, I hear that suggested a lot. How come y'all aren't feeding us? How come there's not more food? We will work with them to have more food options that they provide for you to purchase from them. But we sort of call this a dry building. They want everything to come. If they sell it, they gonna make us let them sell it. I just
Gotcha.
like to have these opportunities to share that with you guys. A lot of things that they provide, we're not permitted to provide, and things like food and water. I'll just keep it that basic.
Yep.
Okay, Corey.
Thank you for that. Tamara, go ahead.
And I want to be respectful of time, but what I will say from an event planning perspective, it's easy to come up with ideas, but then who's the doer of the work? So, what I will commit to, Corey, is making that connection and executing what Black Health Matters for you. And then
Love
I
it.
Okay.
did have some ideas about Foodie Friday. So yeah, I will follow up. And then one suggestion I have, I saw Duluth do this for their fall festival.
Okay.
They actually had a shuttle at local schools, which was free, and then they dropped it, people off at the event.
Would
And
love
I
that.
thought that was very effective. So then it
Love
removes the
that.
barrier of parking.
Would love that.
You're talking about the HBCU schools, is what you're talking about, right, Tamara?
Well, this was like a Duluth festival, so it was just we went to a local school, elementary school, and
Yeah.
then the
Oh,
shuttle
okay,
came,
okay.
and then they made
Yeah,
consistent rounds.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So just so that everybody knows, and again, as far as our partnerships are concerned, like for instance, this was the first year we did our health fair. With that, Keith Dobbins, who has done other health fairs outside of us, I called him and said, "Hey, can you do what you're doing inside of ours?" Okay. And he was like, "Yes." And he did a phenomenal job with that. I say that to you guys. Yes, we are very much so interested in these partnerships. So when it comes to um, film, when it comes to um, career fair, when it comes to um, supplier diversity, when it comes to actually an art gallery, we're in the process of trying to partner up with the National Black Arts Festival to actually sponsor like the art gallery piece. Listen, if you guys have an idea regarding what should happen with this event, and you know somebody who's already doing it, please reach out to them, build a relationship with them, and bring them in. Okay. So with that is about 7:10 right now. With that being said, we're going to do 5 more minutes. I want to be respectful of everybody's time. Does anybody have any questions? Does anybody have any statements? Does anybody have any burning questions that you want to know? Now's the time to do it.
I'd
Go
like to
ahead.
ask a question. I've been waiting, but I wanted to make sure that my sisters had ample opportunity to speak.
I hear
Um,
that.
Sister Tamara, thank you, because you led with saying you wanted to be solutions oriented. I'm in line with that. And Veronica, you definitely communicated some things that resonate with me, because I find myself when I'm not in my day job and I'm in education. Um, there are 10 HBCUs in the state of Georgia. And if you look at all of the adjoining states, there are 54 institutions. The greater Atlanta metro area graduates on average 15,000 college bound Black graduates every year. The Atlanta Black Expo needs to be the Black Education Expo. It needs to be the
Agreed.
place where all 54 HBCUs and PWIs, because I've got a daughter at Spelman and I got a daughter at Kennesaw.
Hmm.
I've attended when they were at Arabia Mountain. I've attended the college recruitment fairs at um, at New Birth. I know how impactful those engagements can be. This ought to be ground zero for how Black families bring their young people to get them exposure to avenues of education to lead them forward. And I've worked with both UNCF and Thurgood Marshall, so I know the resources they have available and the funds they have available. At New Birth, my daughter was awarded something like $30,000 in scholarship on the spot because it was held at New Birth. When you attract that type of engagement, parents will come. They will bring their young people. And over a weekend, over 2 or 3 days, you can bring these people in. So to kind of, reinforce what Veronica was saying, This is a cultural impulse. We could talk about parades and step shows and cook-offs and everything else. It's an incredible opportunity to bring people in. I'm not part of the discussion about whether it's paid or free, but I know what attracts the majority of Black folks in the Atlanta metro area. And I think we should definitely lean towards that. So I wanted to just share that. The other thing I was just going to add is I think there should be workshops on minority supplier development, education, how to become certified, how to go after government contracts. And I think those are the things that all of the counties, because when you look at the Atlanta metro area, that's the one thing that's missing. It's the very thing that made Atlanta a draw when Maynard Jackson was creating Black millionaires in the early 70s around the expansion of the Atlanta airport.
Mm-hmm.
It was about government contracts. We
Mm-hmm.
no longer have that singular focus to educate, prepare, and elevate Black entrepreneurs to go to the next level. And I think that what you're doing, Corey, with your organization and your initiative is entree into that space. So that I'm just gonna end there.
No, and thank you for that. And actually, you are absolutely correct. Um, Again, it's about these partnerships. Our goal is for the HBCUs. Our goal is for the D9s. Our goal is for even high schools that are here in Georgia to participate in the Black History, especially with them having Black entrepreneur, not Black entrepreneur, but like entrepreneurs, young youth entrepreneurs, stuff like that. Our goal is to have partnerships with them as well. So yes, partnerships, partnerships, workshops. I was literally on the phone with a gentleman today who has a government contract conference this month, and we're having conversation about him actually bringing a portion of his conference to the expo next year. My goal is um, for not just the attendees of the event. And Angie, I just thought about this from what Hayes was saying, and we got to figure out this. My goal next year is to have more business workshops that the vendors can attend and not miss out on exhibiting. So essentially, next year, again, I'm gonna go ahead and say this to you guys, but it's not etched in stone yet. What we are playing around with is next year will be still a 3-day event, but the vending piece, instead of it being 2-day, it will be 1 day. Okay, just to drive everybody to that 1 day. The education piece will still be on a separate day. So hypothetically, right now, Friday will still be Black Foodie Friday. Saturday will be an education day and load in for the vendors, and then there's a 1 day exhibit on Sunday. But on Saturday, the goal, somehow we have to figure out how to do this logistically. What I would love to happen is for vendors to be able to spend the day at the expo. Come, load in. Once you load in, you stay and go to some of these workshops to learn about government contracts, to learn about social media, to learn about this stuff. Because again, the expo should not be for vendors, should not just be about how much money we're going to make. Because if you're not incorporating these other activities into your business, you're going to be stagnant. That's why we do the training before then and talking about some of these other things. In the training or in the feedback form, I saw a lot of people that had not done a follow-up email with the people that they had met at the expo, which hopefully that means they're doing it this week. But 9 times out of 10, if you haven't done it already, you're not going to do it moving forward. That's money lost. Those people who have done a follow up, great. I'm hoping that you put them in your CRM and you're continuously doing it because that's where the real money is going to come from. But again, this stuff has to be taught and it has to be taught at a certain place. That is also why we are doing the business builder. For those of you that have continued being on the business builder, kudos for you and your business. For those of you that are not able to continue being on the business builder, we hope that you can get back on there at some point. Because again, there's so much information as far as business is concerned. So much. My goal is to take all of this stuff and break it up weekly. Okay. So that you're getting this information and every week we're talking about something different. Because again, there's so much stuff. Because like Hay said, we want to get to the point to where, and I'm gonna use you, Veronica, but there's other people who are like this as well, to where you can have an event and let's say it not go as far as sales is concerned the way that you want it to go, and you are not worried because you know that based on everything else that you have put forward to there, that business is still coming in. Okay. But there's a run up to that. There's things that you have to do to get prepared for that. That's like us when it comes to these events. Like we wanted, please know, we wanted more exhibitors, we wanted more attendees. Did we miss out on a huge chunk of money? 100%, right? But we still have sustainability, and that's based on the stuff that we did beforehand. These are some of the things that we're talking about in training, some of it, but some of the things that we're going to continue talking about in the business builder, as well as what I want to talk about in some of the workshops on at the expo. So, with that being said, I want to go ahead and wrap this. Okay. I really appreciate everybody's feedback. No, oh, and please know, this is not the only time that you're going to be able to give us feedback. Okay. You guys still have the link for the feedback form. So if you had more ideas on here, please go back to that. Just fill it out again or whatnot. Or you can send myself an email. You can send Angie an email. You can send Kat an email. Whatever the case is, just to put it in there. And I say you send an email just so we have the content of it so we can save it someplace we can go back to it and all that good stuff. Okay. We truly hope that most of you guys can continue being on the business builder. I am just so excited about us doing this business builder and being able to give you guys information every week. That is huge. If for whatever reason you can't be on the business builder, please call me and we can see if we can work something else out. Because again, that is our time to really give this information out. And I want to make sure that you guys are good. Okay. Kat, I know you, Kat, are you still on? She might have had to jump. Angie, do you have anything that you want to leave the party people with?
All I can say is kudos to everyone that filled out the form and then came here to share your feedback with us. You are the battery in our back, and you are really making us stronger and encouraging us. We're going to continue with the expo, but with your feedback, it really makes us stronger. And we appreciate you so very much for taking your time tonight.
Yes. And I want to give you guys one other thought, okay? Has anybody on this call ever been to InvestFest? Anybody on this call been to InvestFest?
Yes, I've been there. I went two
Okay.
years ago
Did you go as an attendee?
as an attendee.
Yep. How much was your ticket?
250.
$250. Were you worried about parking? I'm gonna go ahead and
Yes.
say no because
No,
you
I
paid
was worried about parking. I was trying
$250
to
for
get
your
free
ticket.
parking.
Because you
I was
paid
trying to get free parking.
$250 for your ticket.
Yeah.
Now
But
listen,
that's because I came, let me be clear.
go ahead.
It wasn't about InvestFest for me. My goal was to meet Tabitha Brown because I've been manifesting a collaboration with her and she was on the panel to speak.
Okay.
So I was like praying to God, like, God, if I sacrifice and pay this 250, please make the connection for me to meet Tabitha Brown. And fast forward, I saw her speak, but I didn't meet her there. But
Yeah.
I actually manifested what I wanted, and the experience that I did get with her was better than what it would have been at InvestFest. And she
Okay.
featured me on her Very Good Mondays. So I
Okay.
had a whole different motive. I had a
I
whole
hear,
different.
and I hear you, but I want everybody to get this point. You paid $250 to go to an event that was here in Atlanta. You went to the Georgia World Congress Center.
Yeah.
It was probably in the same hall that we were in last week. Okay. And what I'm saying is, and you went there for a particular reason, right? Whatever that reason is what made you spend that 250. The next
Mhm.
question is, we need to make sure that we're giving people a reason. Okay.
I agree.
We want
Because
to
then
make sure
to
that
my
we're
point,
giving people
let me
a
say this too
reason.
though, Corey. Because I spent that 250, I didn't how I'm a big supporter of my people, I didn't really shop with the vendors at all. I think I shop with one lady that I can remember.
Okay.
One lady, and it was some quality vendors there, but I couldn't even afford the 250. So I was literally like, Veronica, you've been manifesting this, sacrifice that, put that 250 on your credit card, but I wasn't able to shop with the vendors. So people paying that 250 was paying it for whatever reason they was paying it for, but a lot of them vendors didn't make their money. Cause I was there all 3 days and I was walking around and I was like, I was sad for a lot of them vendors
Right.
because they were.
I just want you to understand the concept. Okay.
I got you. I just wanted to make sure I.
The 250 didn't keep you from going to this event to get what you wanted to get out of it, regardless if you got it or not. Right. $15 is not keeping people from attending the Atlanta Black Expo. I want to be very clear about this. $15 is not, and if $15 is a deterrent for a person, then this is not the person that's your target market. And I want to make sure that when we leave this call, that everybody understands this piece. If there's a person who says, how much is it? And you say 15 or 35 for the whole weekend, and they're like, oh, that's too much. And if your products are $1 or $2, this might be your customer. But if your products are over $35, this is not your target market. Okay. We are looking for our target market. We're looking for people who will spend $35 and more because they have the discretionary money to do so. Okay. And in a city of Atlanta that has 7 million people, half of them are black. We're not even asking for million. We're just looking for 3,000 people. And then I'm looking for four. Then I'm looking for five. They out there. We just need to go get them. Right.
But you
Listen,
said the
guys,
key thing you did say, Corey, was that you got to give them a reason to want to come, like for them
tell
to
them to
want
come
to
see
see it.
Veronica because her
Yeah,
and her
give them
daughters are amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. That's my reason. Okay. All right. Now listen, everybody, I love each and every one of y'all. We can be on here all listen, you know how I get on Monday action calls, so we can be on here as long as y'all want, but I'm gonna respect everybody's time. With that, we're gonna be sending out some information just so that everybody understands. We're gonna be sending out information hopefully by tomorrow with the rebates, and you will have the ability to take your rebate and apply it to next year if you like, or you'd be able to get cash out. Or we have, excuse me, our next Taste Urban event is going to be, I told you guys March 28th. It is not March 28th. It is April 25th. April 25th. I think I told you guys last night that it was April 11th. It's not April 11th. It's April 25th. And that's my final answer, April 25th. So you can put on your calendar April 25th. So you will be able to use it either for the April 25th for next year's event or for just to get paid out. And here's the good news, and I want everybody to know this. Because of all the changes that we had to do with the layout, because we had to redo some things, stuff like that, the good news is we don't have to change the layout anymore. Once we now have the layout, these is going to be set, and this is what we're doing. So a person will actually be able to purchase their actual table number no later than no later than May. So you'll know exactly where you're going to be and stuff like that. You won't know the date, okay? But once we come out with the date, if for whatever reason you're like, Corey, I'm gonna be out of town then or whatever, your money will be fully refundable, okay? So we'll send out the information about this so you guys have it. Right. Awesome. With that, truly appreciate you guys. Thank you for everybody being on this call. Thank you for everybody for being on this call. Thank you for everybody that had questions, because I promise you there was somebody on this call that had the same question that didn't say it. So thank you for voicing your opinion with that. And again, if you guys have any other questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, ideas, or if anybody wants to be on the team, in any of our committees. We're literally starting to grow this beginning in April. So if anybody wants to be on any of the committees that we have, we will take you. All right.
Yeah, I put my phone number and the email address info at ATL Black Expo in the chat. And Corey, we need to shout out to Rhonda, who's actually on
Is
here.
Rhonda on?
Rhonda is on.
What up, Rhonda Owens?
Hello, how y'all doing?
Somebody gave you a shout out, Rhonda. Somebody said, listen, Rhonda was awesome.
Thank you. Thank
Rhonda
That
was
was me. Rhonda did a great job. Great job, Rhonda.
you. Thank you.
Yes.
Y'all
Again,
did
I
a
want
great.
to say again to our team that was there. Again, I first say I apologize to putting the extra stress on you guys because, we had a lot of staff that didn't show up, but the way you guys handled it, we really appreciate it.
Mhm.
And I have a phenomenal team. Phenomenal team. So, and I think Kelly Bowens was on. I don't know if she's still on. Keisha's on. So for those of you that had a question regarding Black Foodie Friday, Keisha was one of the managers of that event. I think Kelly was on. I don't think she's
Hey,
on.
Keisha.
Keisha, just say hello to the party people.
Did it. Hey, everybody.
Like, hey, okay. She did it exactly what I told her. All right, y'all. With that, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening. And again, this recording will be sent out to everybody. Okay.
All right.
Thank you guys.
Thank you
Have a great
guys.
night. Bye-bye.
Good night.